There we go.
Well, we're a little bit late. Apologize for that, but at 7:05, we'll call to order the August 7th, 2025 General Business Meeting of the Upper McKenzie Township Board of Supervisors. And tonight we'll start, as usual, with the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get started, as we've been doing, I'd like to take a moment of some grace and some gratitude, making sure that we're thankful for our abilities to be here tonight. A lot of friends and family here tonight have some celebrations, some promotions, and some honorariums. And before we do that, let's just take a moment to be thankful for those who came before us, those who gave up for us to be here, and be thankful for the days we have ahead. All right, thank you for that. I appreciate it. We'll move on to the agenda. I do not believe that we have any additions or deletions to the agenda. Is that right?
Actually, motion A, I believe it is.
Yes.
Motion A can be removed from the agenda. The documents required for the recording have been received as of today.
And I signed them today. So we'll take motion A. Sorry. Motion A is off the agenda. Anything else? All right, we are on section 3, minutes and financials. I'll make a motion to dispense with the reading of the meeting minutes from the July 3rd, 2025 General Business Meeting and the zoning ordinance workshop, and adopt them as presented, and authorize the payment of the bills for the month of June in the amount of $10,893,689.15. Second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Jim. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, we can move to a vote. All those in favor of the motion is read, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, John. Presentations, I do not believe that we have any tonight unless someone wants to do some magical presentations. So we are on to discussions and updates. Hand over to Chief Stein.
Dry. No crying, Mike.
You know I am an emotional guy. I'm comfortable. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. This is a pretty incredible moment for us. You're going to kind of witness the career cycle of a police officer here in Upper McKenzie Township. First, we would like to start with a new hire. Timothy Klein is a 2015 graduate of Emmaus High School. He completed his Act 120 certification through Allentown Police Academy in 2022. Tim worked full-time for Emmaus Police Department before being hired with our department. Officer Klein took his oath of office in front of Magisterial District Judge Michael J. Faulkner on July 8, 2025, where he swore to support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and the laws of Pennsylvania and Upper McKenzie Township, and that he would discharge his duties of office with fidelity. Would like Officer Klein's family to come up front. I'm sorry, sorry to get everybody excited, his girlfriend, Jillian. It is a tradition, the family loved one pins the badge onto, I'm sorry, I don't want to exclude mom or dad.
That's
Okay. It's tradition that the families or significant others pin the badge on a police officer when they get hired. For it is these people that will be the most important for the officer's life, to be a very important role and support system for when they're not at home, or I'm sorry, not at work. I'd like to introduce, get warmed up here tonight. Julian, this is his badge. You can pin this on the front of Officer Klein's uniform. Officer Klein has been working now for several weeks, and he's been doing a phenomenal job so far. He seems to fit into the team very well. And for the first time publicly, I'd like to introduce to you Officer Tim Klein. board, the residents, the people here, the folks you're gonna meet out there. I encourage you to get out of the car, meet people, shake hands. We have a wonderful community out there for you to meet. And you have a tremendous support team, both within the agency and amongst the board and the other departments in the township. It is very much a team environment here. We wish you the best of luck with all your career endeavors, and we're here to help you have a happy, healthy, successful career. Thank you. Now, at the end of the last presentation, then we'll all get up here and we'll get pictures together with the family, with the board, but we'll do that at the end. Next, I'd like to introduce to you Officer Nicholas Morris. Again, Nick has been with us for a number of years. Officer Morris has spent 20 years providing law enforcement services to Upper Macungie Township and community. He spent the last 13 years on our traffic unit and has worked on everything from accident reconstruction, keeping our roadways safe, doing mix-up motor carry and safety inspections on commercial vehicles. In his new role, Officer Morris will be shifting his focus to community outreach. This will include assistance at the school, attending neighborhood events, and finding new ways to connect with residents. He shared that what drew him to this position was a chance to build relationships as opposed to just responding to problems. He's looking forward to being a positive and approachable presence in the community and helping the department stay connected with the people we serve. We're glad to have him taking on his important role. Nick, I know that you have a great personality. I'm sure you're going to be very popular within the community in your new role. Not always giving citations or pointing out violations. It's going to be a newer role, but I'm sure you're going to adjust quickly and you're going to excel. Congratulations. Next is Sergeant David Malachesky. Come on up. David Malachesky is a native of Haycock Township located in Bucks County, PA. Officer Malachesky received his associate's degree in police administration from Bucks County Community College in Montgomery, and his Act 120 certification through Montgomery County Municipal Police Academy in 2012. He began his law enforcement career in 2014 with Coopersburg Borough Police Department, where he served until 2015 when he was hired by Upper Macungie Township. Since joining our department, Officer Malachesky has served several specialized roles, including field training officer, use of force instructor, and canine handler currently. He is also certified as a federal motor carrier safety association administration inspector to conduct level 3 DOT inspections on commercial vehicles. Officer Malachesky has stated the most rewarding part of his job is engaging with the community and building stronger relationships with the people he serves. The ceremony to award the pin police badge on an individual, again, is always conducted by a family member, which his wife will do that here tonight. Again, Sergeant Malachesky has been in his new role here for several weeks. He's been doing a great job. David, congratulations on your advancement.
Thank you.
I noticed both of these officers in asking what drew them and what they enjoyed, they both referenced relationships. And that's one thing I think we can all agree on. There's phenomenal relationships within this community, always, whether it's problem solving, just working together on something. If anybody was at our national night out that we just had on Tuesday night, there's plenty of people there and just conversations and just relationship building. And that's truly what it is about. Lastly, Dan, come on up. Lastly, we celebrate a remarkable career of Sergeant Dan Fagan, who's retiring after 28 years of dedicated police service. It is with immense pride and gratitude that we recognize the impact he has had on our lives and our safety. Sergeant Daniel Fagan attended Parkland High School before receiving his Bachelor of Art degree in History from Penn State, secondary education teaching certification in Social Studies from Kutztown. He is a veteran of the United States Air Force. In 1996, he completed his Act 120 certification to become a police officer at the Allentown Police Academy. Act 120 certification at the Allentown Police Academy was hired by Northeastern Berks Regional Police Department. In 2001, that department transitioned to Berks Lehigh Regional Police and began offering police services to the residents of Upper Macungie Township. At that time, he was promoted to the rank of sergeant and has been supervising and mentoring new police officers. During his career, Sergeant Fagan also served as a taser and dare instructor. To Sergeant Fagan, today we still celebrate your unwavering commitment, bravery, and tireless dedication to protecting and serving our community. Your career has been marked by immeasurable acts of heroism, compassion, and professionalism. You have faced numerous challenges with courage and integrity, always putting the safety and well-being of others first. Your ability to lead by example, offer support, and build trust within the community has earned you the respect and admiration of both your colleagues and the citizens you have served. Thank you for being the type of leader that has ensured the next generation of officers are ready to meet the challenges of tomorrow. Thank you, Sergeant Fagan, for your incredible contributions, unwavering support, your commendable service. You have been an inspiration to us all, and we are so very grateful for everything you've done. Your retirement marks the end of a distinguished career and the beginning of a new adventure. We want to wish you every success in the future as you face new challenges and rewards. Dan, thank you. You've served an honorable, distinguished career, and it's been a pleasure working with you.
As well.
Jerry would not have been happy with me if I forgot this. Dan, on behalf of the command staff, a little shadow box of your journey.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. So that's wonderful. Didn't expect that. Thanks very much.
And now we'd like to have the Officer Klein, Sergeant Fagan, Sergeant Alejandro, Officer Morris come up. We'll take some pictures with your family, with the board. And Sergeant Alejandro, I'm sorry, I forgot to give you this.
Thank you.
Squeezing here, get some pictures.
I hide behind the wall.
We will take a group and then a couple of individuals.
Actually, no, I don't.
A little bit narrower.
And then could we get like an individual with Officer Klein and the board, and then Sergeant Just the board, Officer Morris. We'll do individuals. Dave's closest. We'll start. Okay, let's start with you.
Tim, you want to put him in the middle? Yeah, let's go in the middle. Yeah, let's put him in the middle. I told you.
So Scott,
Thank you. Great, congratulations.
Look at people hiding in the corner. Who's hiding behind the other chair?
I don't know.
All right, we're gonna get back to what's everybody's favorite stuff, which is the land use resolution. So we're up to resolution section 7, resolution A 2025, docket 2334, Blue Triton semi-trailer entrance 45 Nestle Way. Request for modification, Mary.
Thank you.
Hold on 1 second. All right, maybe I spoke too quickly.
Just letting you know.
I got you. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. All right, Mary.
All right, this is a request for 2 waivers from the TICS, Infrastructure Construction Standards. The plan was approved by the Board of Supervisors in February of 2025. They are working toward recording, but they ran into 2 issues. So one of those is that they were required to install mountable curbing along Nestle Way. It was a requirement by the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission for the mountable curbing to allow tows to cross over Nestle Way and access the basin that's on the other side. The other one is owing to a stormwater issue. The applicant is here if you have any questions.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-28, granting approval of 2 waivers to docket 2334, the Blue Triton semi-trailer entrance, conditioned upon the township engineer's review letter dated July 2nd, 2025. Is there a second?
I'll make a second.
Thank you, Simon. I love that we're making waivers for the endangered eastern spadefoot toad. Sonny, any questions or concerns about these?
No, it was pretty straightforward for me.
Okay.
Fine, I'm good.
I don't think we have any questions unless the applicant wants to make this take longer than it should.
Nope.
All right. Ryan, anything from an engineering perspective other than the review letter? No. Okay. So I guess with that, we'll close the question, move to vote. All those in favor of the resolution, motion to approve the resolution 2025-28, granting 2 waivers to docket 2334, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, that passes. Thank you. Well done. Congratulations. You did a great job. We're at resolution B 2025-29, docket 2354, the estates of Woodmere, Bacon Lane, Ash Lane, Windmill Lane, Merchantstown Road, request for modification. Ryan.
Yes. There are 3 modifications under consideration tonight, 2 waivers, 1 deferral. The first waiver is in regards to, let me get my sheet, is in regards to the block length, and they're requesting that they exceed the block length from 600 feet to 600, or 800 feet to 888 feet. I'm sorry, cul-de-sac length. We see no issue with that. They're only proposing 13 homes on this cul-de-sac, and township ordinance allows 25. The Public Works Department has no issue with it, the fire chief has no issue. And then the second waiver is in regards to the block length. They are asking for 1,688 feet, or 1,872 feet. Township ordinance allows 1,600. They're proposing this in order to avoid another crossing of the PPL, the large PPL easement that's there. And once again, we discussed it with the fire chief and the Public Works Department, and they have no issue with that. So we discussed it with the planning commission. They recommended approval of both waivers as well. The third item is a deferral. They were asking to defer sidewalks within the development. They wanted to defer half of the sidewalks, so Basically, township ordinance allows them to not put sidewalks in at the time of construction. We recommend denial of that deferral. Planning Commission agreed.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-29, granting approval of waiver request number 1 and number 2 for docket 2354 Estates of Woodmere, conditioned upon the township engineer's review letter dated June 12, 2025, and the denial of deferral request number 3. Second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Sonny. Sonny, questions or concerns?
No.
Good. I had a technical question, Ryan, in your review letter, as well as in the resolution that's before us, there's actually a 4th deferral that's being referenced.
Yeah, that got withdrawn.
Okay, so the resolution that we have is gonna have to get redone to strike out that 4th.
Yes.
But we're ignoring from your review letter that 4th deferral about the curbing on the other side of the road.
Right. We had a staff meeting or a meeting with the applicant earlier this week. We're going to continue and have another meeting with Public Works staff and more township staff in the next 2 weeks or so to kind of nail down what the improvements at Ashland will be.
Okay, is this gonna be something that has to come back to us on a continued deferral request, or is the deferral data withdrawn?
So the deferral, I believe, was officially withdrawn. It might come back later in some manner.
Okay, you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. I asked you a question, let's go ahead and get you identified for whatever record we have. But we have to be clear, who are you?
Rocket Correctional from Chandler Land Company.
Okay. And you agree that 4th deferral, the second deferral with the 4th item in the original request is being withdrawn for tonight?
Yes.
Okay. But it may be something that in continued conversation, you agree with Ryan, that it may be something that we have to be brought back up again at some point.
Correct.
Okay. But we're not there tonight. Okay. Any other questions or concerns on that? Anybody from the audience have a question or concern about this? Pete, you agree that the block length and the cul-de-sac length, no big deal for you?
I agree. Yes, sir.
I have no other questions. Anyone else?
No.
Seeing none, we can move to vote. All those in favor of the motion to approve resolution 2025 granting waiver request number 1 and 2, conditioned upon the township engineer review letter dated June 12, 2025, and denying deferral request number 3, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I want to say how fortunate I am to be here tonight. That was beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks.
The nicest thing anyone said to me all day. Resolution,
you were beautiful.
you heard what you heard, and I heard what I heard.
Yes.
Resolution C 2025-30, 110 PA Route 100 warehouse sewage planning model from module, Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 110 PA Route 100 warehouse was previously before the board and received preliminary land development approval. At this point, they are ready for their sewage planning module. HRG has reviewed the package and believes that it is ready to be adopted and submitted to the PADEP. So it's up for consideration by the board.
I make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-30, approving the submission of the sewage planning module for docket number 2347, 110 PA Route 100 warehouse.
I'll second that. Thank you, Ken. Questions or concerns, Sonny?
No.
Kim?
I'm good.
None from me. Anybody in the audience want to comment on the approval of the sewer module? Seeing none, we can move to vote. All those in favor of resolution 2025-30, approving the submission of the sewage planning module for docket 2347, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We're on to motions. We have already indicated that motion A has been deleted from the agenda as it has been satisfied. Motion B, awarding the 2025 manhole rehabilitation bid. Bob.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the yearly maintenance project that the sewer department carries out every year. It's to stop leaks in our manholes, part of our I&I reduction program. We actually call that a source reduction program. And we'll hear a lot about it, more of that next month when we come from 537 approval. But there were 2 bidders on this project. The lowest bidder was Penn Corporation. HRG has reviewed the bids, and so has the solicitor. We have a history with Penn. They're very responsible, good to work with. So our recommendation is to award the bid to Penn Corp in the amount stated.
Make a motion to award the 2025 sanitary sewer module rehabilitation project to the PIM Corporation in the amount of $225,470 as recommended by HRG engineers.
I'll second. Thanks, Sonny. Questions or concerns, Sonny?
No, none.
Jim?
Okay.
None from me. I'm really excited for the Act 537 meeting next month. The I&I stuff that really gets me going. Anybody else in the audience have a question or concern? I know. About sanitary sewer manhole rehabilitation project? Seeing none, we can move to vote. All those in favor of the motion to award the 2025 sanitary sewer manhole rehabilitation project to the PIM Corporation in the amount of $225,470, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thank you, Bob. Right back at you. Motion C, awarding the architectural contract for the police and fire station.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This all started almost a year ago this month, looking at the feasibility and the evaluation of police and fire and actually the admin and public works department. Just knowing where we're at and what the future needs might be. There's been significant progress in the fire services field on developing a live-in program, which really needs a better base of operations. Station 8's been very helpful with us in helping make it work. It wasn't, I won't call it a deficiency, but it is something that should have been addressed, needs to be addressed sooner rather than later. We had, in addition to the fire station, we were also looking at a police station. Both police chief and the fire commissioner done a lot of research into different firms. We reached out to two architectural firms. One is GKO. We have to say we were very impressed with their work, but we also reached out to Alloy 5, a company that's currently working on the recreation center. Got two proposals. The one staff is recommending to go with is, I will say, is not the lowest price, but we feel the most confident in their ability to not just bring our vision into reality, but bring their knowledge and expertise, correcting that, to really give us a good product with a reasonable cost and do it in a timely manner. We are only asking for the architectural design to be done. That's the only way to get an accurate estimate on the cost. There's another motion down further to award to a construction manager, some pre-bid funding to help better get us the most accurate price prior to going to bid. That way the board can make an informed decision early 2026 on what these projects might cost. How do you answer your questions?
Sure. We're gonna, I guess, because we have two separate motions for two separate contracts, we'll break it out.
That is why we did it that way. If the board feels they want to go with a low price, we can amend the motion or split the contracts.
Why don't we just split it as a motion anyway, just for giggles. So I'll make a motion authorizing the township manager to execute a contract with GKO Architects at a cost of $945,000 pending satisfactory review of the terms by the township solicitor and staff for architectural and engineering services for the new police station. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Jim. Questions or concerns, Sonny?
Oh, mostly questions, maybe a little bit of concern, but I just wanted to understand, GKR, they're not located in the valley, are they? I didn't think they were, right?
They have an office in Ambler.
Ambler, so it's a little bit down the road, okay. I'm reading through the briefing minutes, it really seemed clear to me that, I don't say it, but that maybe we weren't entirely satisfied with the architect group that came in at the lower cost. It was really that the other ones, I would even say, just met our requirements. That's my impression of reading it. And so, in a way, my concern is that even though you had a good intent of going in with two bids, we really sort of ended up with one because the other one didn't sound to me like a resounding yes. And So, and I'm not meaning this as criticism, but it's just,
No, but I will say going into the process.
Yeah.
There was a very open mind there.
yeah.
That Alloy 5 was it viable?
Sure, no, I think I hope I said that, but I know you didn't go in with that intent, but it just seemed that way. So my only, as a procurement person's background from the procurement, it was a little concerning because it seemed like in some ways we only got one quote because of the way it shook out, and that was my concern. Although when I did some more digging, it seemed like the price was in the ballpark relative to the construction, because there's rules of thumb that, you go by, and they were inside that rule of thumb. So I'm just giving you my concern. I was concerned about that. I actually probably didn't sleep as well last night because it was kind of bugging me, because I hate being in a position where we really have one solid quote and we don't have enough to chew on. But and then I was a little bit disappointed we couldn't find a Lehigh Valley architect group, that we had to go outside the valley. But having read all of the information you guys provided me, I'm okay with it. But those were just my thoughts going into this thing. Okay.
Jim? I'm good. Okay. I read it a little differently. I thought we got two good proposals. It was just staff felt more comfortable. We are familiar with Alloy 5 as they are, a picture of our community center is on page 3 of the bid.
Yes.
And they were here initially talking to us about the facilities audit that they did. So I think there was a hope, and they're located in Bethlehem, so it is a local place. I think we had a hope. I think, fortunately, I guess I have faith in our staff. They have not set us wrong yet, and if they have the faith in PKO, then that's where I think my faith goes as well. I agree with you, Sonny. The costs are not way outside the ballpark. We're not authorizing a bid that's 2x. We're just authorizing a bid that's a little bit more. You pay for what you get, and you get what you pay for. So
I agree, and I just felt like I had to decide if anybody asked us why we didn't take the lowest bidder, because we did go through, and I think we went with. It sounds like what we're doing is not necessarily going with the lowest bidder, but maybe the total lowest cost, because we're hoping that with the quality of the firm we are picking, we will have hopefully less cost change orders and delays. I'm hoping that's where we're headed. But I just wanted to share with you my hesitation a little bit, because it just seemed like, a little bit to me, I got it a little differently than you, but it seemed like it was really just one quote, because the other one seemed to maybe overshine.
Okay, but I think we're reaching the same conclusion.
Yeah, I'm seeing it a little differently.
Yeah, that's all right. Anyone from the audience have questions or concerns to hear on this? Good, Jimmy, you're good? All right, so we can close question and call vote. All those in favor of the motion authorizing the township manager to execute a contract with GKO Architects for $945,000 for the new police station, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thank you, Bob. The second motion would be a motion authorizing the township manager to execute a contract with GKO Architects at a cost of $819,500 pending satisfactory review of the terms of the contract by township solicitor and staff, architectural and engineering services for the fire station. Is there a second for that? Second. Thank you, Jim. I assume Sonny, no new comments on this?
No, I think they both apply. So that's fine. Yeah.
Jim, anything? No. Anyone from the audience with public concerns? Seeing none, we can call the question, move to the vote. All those in favor of the motion authorizing the township manager to execute a contract with GKO Architects, cost of $819,500 for the architectural and engineering services for the fire station, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thank you, Bob. Thank you. As you indicated, later on down the road here, we have a motion D, awarded construction manager contract for the fire and police station.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, this is another contract related to both projects. This list, the cost is basically $3.6 million, but that is a full build out at the high end of, I won't call it back of the napkin estimates, but our first round of estimates through the architects. They're dedicating $95,000 towards pre-bid and bidding work. The one thing I kind of learned during the recreation center project was we should have had a construction manager on earlier, like right in the beginning of the design process. It's kind of that value engineering they can bring to the project. Was has been very, very good to work with at the recreation center. I consider it's an expense, but it's a value. They really keep the project on track. They have good relationships with contractors to get us good estimates.
Do you think there's a chance that we maintain the same team?
There's a very good chance.
That's key.
And there is, should we move to the point of bidding or rejecting the bids and putting projects on hold, there is no fees to terminate this contract.
I can see.
If we don't follow all the way through, they're not expecting.
It's just what we've paid so far.
Just what we spent.
Okay.
Just what they earned.
Or
Yeah, what they want, yeah.
What we paid, what we spent.
You got it, so.
I'll make a motion to authorize the township manager to enter an agreement with Alvin H. Splits Inc. to provide construction management services for the construction of the new police and fire stations in the amount of $3,596,000. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Sonny. Questions, concerns, Sonny?
I just questioned, is more of a clarification of what you just said, Bob, but the amount you said here, is it for, you said it was for a full build out, but we haven't designed it yet, so could you clarify what you meant by full build out?
there was an estimate, again, going on what we know now, that this
Okay.
project could end up costing the site work a total of $35 million. So the construction percentage was based on that.
And this is, so this portion is just a construction management estimate based on what we believe it is right now, but it is subject to change, obviously.
Correct.
Okay.
And my assumption,
Yeah.
and what I will work to do, is to lower that.
Absolutely, yeah, but I just wanted to make sure I understood what you were saying. Okay.
Everything, well, except for the architectural contract, everything we're using for, we got a range on an estimate, I plug in what I want.
Okay, all right. That's it, that's all. Yeah.
And I've been very satisfied with the work they've done with the center. They're good folks. But company is also one that really contributes to the community, which I think is a nice, general community at large, which is a nice way to say that the dollars we pay them end up going to the community, come back to us and also to Allentown and Weaver County and philanthropic costs, which I think is really important. So I absolutely am okay with it. Any questions or concerns from those two? Seeing none, we can call the question, move to a vote. All those in favor of the motion to authorize the township manager to enter an agreement with Alvin H. Splits for $3,596,000 for construction management services, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
We are to, excuse me, we keep going here. Motion E, authorizing the township manager to use township engineers for land and site development process for police and fire stations. Let me think, who should we go to? Bob?
Yeah. With the process, especially with the police department, we are expecting to relocate that to the southern end of Grange Park. That will definitely be a land development plan. These expenses related to these buildings aren't under general engineering in the budget, but we cover through the bond expense. So HRG, Barry Isid have provided me quotes to estimates to do that work, to basically run it through the land development process, to have plan reviews at the planning commission, and some geotechnical work. Again, since it's not really a budgeted item, they are township engineers, but it's a little bit above and beyond what we normally do in the year, so I brought this to the board.
I'll make a motion authorizing the township manager to use township engineers for the land development process for the police and fire station.
I'll second.
Thanks, Sonny.
Mm,
Any questions, concerns?
No,
No, sir.
Do we know these HRG people? Are they reliable?
I don't know. He was standing in the corner earlier.
Just trying to stay out of the police photos.
That's a good goal, generally. is stay away from
Have you
police
been in them before?
That was on my advice.
Excellent. Anyone in the audience have questions regarding using township engineers for the land development work? Perfect. Seeing none, we can move to the vote. All those in favor of the motion authorizing the township manager to use township engineers for the land development process for the police and fire station, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thank you, Bob.
Yeah.
Motion F, authorizing advertisement of the condemnation of a 1,125 square foot portion of land for a utility easement, creation of a possible trail connection at the unopened substreet of Steeplechase Lane, adjacent to the properties at 6015 and 6023 Palomino Drive. Ryan.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this request came through as a better alternative than a previous design for the utilities, which ran approximately 600 feet longer than what's being proposed, as well as running through a wetland area. We have discussed this with Public Works staff, specifically Scott Faust, and there are issues and concerns with long-term maintenance of these utilities if they're within the wetlands area. From number one, from a hydric soil standpoint, just from a permitting standpoint, every time the township would need to service these lines or do anything that disturbs the wetlands, there have to be permits in place. So we are in favor of the condemnation of this area to be used for possible trails and utilities in the future.
I can make a motion to if you want.
Yeah, let's open at the moment.
Right.
You want me to make a motion?
Yeah, please.
I'll make a motion to authorize the advertisement of the condemnation of a 1,125 square foot portion of land for utility easement, creation of a possible trail connection at the unopened substreet of Steeplechase Lane, adjacent to the property at 6023 Palomino Drive.
I'll second that. Andrew.
So what's being asked is in order to take the condemnation action, I prefer to use an ordinance to do that. It provides a little bit better notice to the property owners who are subject to the condemnation. So the action is really to advertise for the ordinance, which would be considered at your next meeting. As Ryan had said, this is an unopened paper street that runs between 615 and 623 Palomino Drive. So we're looking at subsurface rights for a sanitary sewer, and LCA will also install their water lines there. It's being initiated by the township because of the reasons that Ryan and Scott said. It's a more direct route. It makes a lot more sense. So this is a township initiated condemnation. It was recommended for approval by the Planning Commission, subject to the applicant submitting additional escrow fees of $10,000 and that they would pay for expenses of this condemnation. The second layer of this is that in looking at this area, it could provide a connection to Greenfield Park for the residents in this proposed subdivision. It's a townhouse subdivision that came before you last month. I think there's 25 units on the site, and rather than having them walk down Report and Upton Church and wind themselves through, is it
Hopewell Farm South.
Hopewell Farm South, it would provide a more direct connection. So there could be a second, it would be tied into the one action, but there would be some surface rights to install a walking path through that area for connectivity. It was just not identified on the visa because it's vacant land. So it wasn't identified, but township staff looking at this thinks it's a really beneficial connection. So all that said and done, when you look at the condemnation, there are damages to the property owner. There's the subsurface damages would have to be looked at separately than the surface damages. But that's the second part of the equation. Meredith, I don't know if you want to add anything to that or if the board has more specific questions to that, because that's kind of new to you as of this evening.
There's nothing on it now, right?
I'm sorry.
There's nothing on the land right now.
It's just being maintained apparently by one of the property owners. I checked the dockets. There's no action to quiet title on it. There's no claim against that property, but just for belt and suspenders type, we want to notify those property owners at least make the allegation that they may or may not have a legal right to that property.
And we haven't done that yet. We did not.
No, that would be
The
part of the
homeowner.
advertisement, and
Okay.
I believe it'd be appropriate to at
Reach
least
out.
notify those property owners individually.
This property is not actually technically part of their deeds at this point yet, do we know? Did we
No, no,
Did we pull the deed
it's
to
not.
make sure of that?
No, if it goes up to it butts upon the roadway, which is a paper roadway, it doesn't go to the center line or anything.
But we haven't, we can confirm that at this point, no one's taken the action to complete the vacation process and make claim to half of the paper roadway as their own sort of process and land development that happens from time to time.
I have not seen anything to that end, and also if you look at not that it's always accurate, but if you look at the county tax assessment record, it's shown
Has that paper street.
as still as a paper, as the right of way.
So GIS still has the paper street in there.
Correct, yes.
And so the goal would be, and we can discuss it again when the ordinance is presented next month, but the goal here is the subsurface rights in order to have the utility easement run through there. But also we're going to do some surface planning of some sort to make it clear that it's a walking path, trailway, connectivity between neighborhoods.
Right, and so we want to be able to separate those damages when it comes to it, because
They're different things.
developers' obligation ends at a certain point, I believe.
And the developer is going to pay for legal fees and has agreed to pay all of our legal fees. as we go through
The
this.
developers here, so I represent by council, so.
How's it going?
Hi, Stephanie Caldwell from Fitzpatrick Lenson Buba on behalf of the developer, Jim Land Company. We have agreed to pay the legal fees in connection with the subsurface condemnation. We've agreed to the additional $10,000 escrow deposit. And just to elaborate a little bit on Mr. Brunel's question, we did make 3 attempts to, at least with regard to the subsurface rights, reach out to the neighbor and work through things with the neighbor to no avail.
Okay.
Stephanie, I think we've talked on the phone about 50 times and we've never actually met in person, so it's nice to see.
I know, you took my seat on a board.
A board, and I'm off that board now too. So, all right, but as far as for the condemnation proceeding, as far as compensation to the, we'll call them in air quotes landowner, since I don't think anyone owns it, are we on the hook for that, or is the developer going to assist with that as well?
For the subsurface,
We've agreed for the subsurface and then the township for the walking.
Okay, so for in addition to legal fees, but also for the damages for the condemnation itself, Jano's going to cover the subsurface. We'll take care of the above surface, but realistically, no one actually owns it.
and we get an appraisal, the value immediately before versus immediately after for the subsurface, and then layer the other one on top of that, so we can separate those.
Okay. But realistically, this is something, it's a pre-approval of the ordinance that's going to come next month for a fuller discussion at that point too.
That's correct, yes.
Jim, something?
No, I'm good.
I'm just sure, I'm trying to figure out.
Attorneys are good with it. My questions are only legal, and they're good with it, so. I would think a paper street gets us part of the way there in the first place, so. But, okay.
Well, yeah, and
And that's just a layman's,
once the ordinance is adopted and condemnation's filed, we have right to entry of that area.
Okay.
And it's really, they can file preliminary objections, but they're very limited in scope.
got me.
So
Okay.
it doesn't serve a public purpose. 2, it exceeds the scope of what's actually necessary. So this is pretty focused. I don't know if there's any validity to any challenge that they'd object to.
Yeah, so just one comment to one question. I mean, I'm glad, I like the approach because it does give the landowners an opportunity to get information and provide feedback. I'm trying to I'm on the map right now, I'm trying to figure out where this trail would go. Is that possible for you to show that so that we can see it? It's going to be before us again, and I just want to make sure I understand where that's going, and I'm glad to see that because it also provides a public benefit. I just wanted to get a better understanding of what exactly we're planning. Without making, I hope it's not taking too much time. If you have a quick-
Nope, it's coming up.
You can help me with a joke or something like that?
No, I can ask ethics questions, but we'll
Okay,
throw out the record.
I didn't, yeah, just.
Is that a tease? Yeah.
Sorry, Cal, I didn't, okay.
It's okay.
Oh, we go.
It's coming up. Here we go.
Quick, okay. So,
Are you looking to see how the
so I'm looking for how the trail would tie in to Grange Park, because it's not obvious to me.
So you want to like a Google map?
Yeah, sorry, that's what I was just,
That's
yeah,
fine.
apologize, I thought it was quicker. It's like 623 or something, that's what I did, yeah, there you go. Because right now you could go up Steeplechase and make a left on Citronia, right? And make a left on Citronia
And
and
then
the
and
Grange.
here's the park. Yep.
Yeah, so what are we thinking?
So we connect to this neighborhood here, which I believe has sidewalks.
In the Vision Zero action plan, we've been creating a priority list, and as part of the Grange Road or the Grange Park Loop Trail, this area to connect the Hopewell Farms South subdivision to that trail, there is a proposal to install sidewalk along a small segment of Saturnia Road so that there would be connectivity where it doesn't exist right now.
All right, so I'm just missing the connection. What does the condemnation back here, how does that make the connection better?
To the south is the proposal for 25 townhouse
In
units,
this area.
Right,
and those units would be served by this trail connection that would get them into the subdivision.
oh,
of-
okay, so it's not for the existing community, it's
No.
for the ones
Yeah.
south of it.
Otherwise, they would need to walk down Reppert. and up
I'm with you
Church.
now, that's where I my block was, I didn't realize where you were headed. Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Members of the community have any questions? Seeing none, I call the question to vote. All those in favor of the motion to authorize the advertisement of the condemnation of an 1,125 square foot portion of land for utility easement adjacent to the property at 6023 Palomino Drive, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thanks, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Andrew. We're to motion G, authorizing a salary adjustment for the staff account position. Michelle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're asking for a salary adjustment for the staff account position, $75,000. This would be a replacement for me since I was retired and I took on this role. We put it out for bid, but we did not get any response that we hoped, so we re-advertised. Believe that we have this person to hold the position and have everything to offer.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to adjust the budgeted annual salary for the staff account position from $60,000 to $75,000. Second?
I'll second it.
Questions or concerns, Sonny?
I'm just curious, it sounds like you already identified someone, what's the level of years of experience this person has?
I have several, probably about 15 years.
Oh, 15, okay, yeah, all right, thank you. That's all I had.
Good.
I'm good. Anyone in the audience have a question or concern about a staff accountant? Perfect. We can call question and move to vote. All those in favor of the motion to adjust the budget annual salary for the staff accountant position from $60,000 to $75,000, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thank you, Michelle. Motion H, and our favorite, most talkative employee, authorizing the sale of a 2010 Ford Expedition to the Borough of Mayes. Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Last month, we put that 2010 position out for sale, and we had one bid. We rejected the bid, it was too low. The Mayes Borough came forward, and they were offering us $3,500 for the expedition, and I feel that was a reasonable price.
I'll make that motion.
I make a motion to authorize the sale of the 2010 Ford Expedition to the Borough of Mass at a price of $3,500.
I will sadly second that motion, as I was sort of hoping I could get that for a song and a dance, but alas. Any questions, Sonny?
Yeah, just refresh my memory, Scotty, what was the bid that we rejected? How much was it?
I believe it was like 24.
Okay,
So,
so, 3,500, okay, that's all I have.
Think this is a fair number, Chad?
Yes, I watched Mrs. Bivens, who's right in the ring, take it.
Good.
Anyone else have questions about a 2010 Ford Expedition? Perfect. Seeing none, we can move to a vote. All those in favor of the motion to authorize the sale of the 2010 Ford Expedition of the Borough of Emmaus for $3,500, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thank you, Scott. Monthly department reports available in the back of the room have been posted at the township's website. Are there any department managers or anything specific they would like to announce? Steve?
I just want to thank the board for approving the motions that were before you in regards to the emergency services and helping Chief Sikorsky and I move the emergency services forward in Hurricane Township.
Yeah, I'd like to echo what Pete said on behalf of the entire police department, administrative staff, civilian staff, and the officers. We know you're making some big decisions and starting to make those decisions, and from the bottom of our hearts, thank you.
Yeah, and on a night like tonight, where we're said it best, since we're watching the life cycle of a police officer, it's really appropriate that we have these motions tonight, and we're moving forward with those, and we thank you for everything that you're doing and that your staff's doing, and make sure that it's reflected to everyone, even the ones who are not here, that we appreciate both departments, what they're doing for us every day.
Thank you, thank you.
Who would have thought in 12 or 13 years we'd overrun our police department? You know, it's, but you did it. You know, it is what it is. We got to keep your facilities current. So.
Thank you. Like I said, we truly appreciate the vision of the township and the progressiveness of the township and the board and all of the extensive work that has gone into this project so far. Bob and Cal and everybody that's been involved, they couldn't thank you enough.
Just, although we're in August and it's the middle of 2025, I can tell you that staff has begun the 2026 budget process. We're getting ready for December. We'll be working hard on the numbers.
Super excited.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have a couple things. I am going to start with saying the Kathy Rader Good Citizenship Award. We are still accepting submissions. You can go online and we will go ahead and look at those. The mascot survey, we had initially done one just to grab some information from residents. And we did select the 3 highest that had votes. With that, that closed on the night of National Night Out. We will go ahead and tally the votes, get some information out, and move on with the process. Ryan is not here, so just a couple things. Grub and Groove at the Grange, 5 to 8 p.m. every Thursday until the 25th of September. This Friday is Movies at the Park at Earl Adams Memorial Park from 5:30 p.m. And it's going to be a safari party, and the movie that will be played is Zootopia. On August 23rd, the Teen and Adult Self-Defense Workshop at Lehigh Valley Martial Arts will be held from 12 to 1 p.m. Slither and S'mores at Lone Lane from 5 to 6 p.m. on August 29th. And there is a concert in the park that will be held from 6 to 10 p.m. on Saturday, August 30th, and that will be Bourbon and Blues theme. One more thing, hold on. We continue to have high engagement on the website for information. Just remember, we also have our UMT Connect link on Facebook as well as Apple. You can go ahead and put service requests in for that as well. If you have any ideas of anything that will make that better or more attractive, please feel free to reach out to me.
Secretary, can we go back to the bourbon party? That's great.
Bourbon and Blues will be the concert at the park at Grange Park on Saturday, August 30th.
I can be there at 6.
From 6 to 10, but for you, we're gonna let you be there a little bit later.
And Jazz, did the board meet in executive session at any point?
Yes, we did. I apologize about that. We did have an executive session today as well that was held at 6 p.m. And the topic discussed was legal matters. Thank you, Bob, sorry.
Jazz, thank you for all that you're doing and making sure that we are connected as best possible to our residents and our citizens. The amount of information that's available to everybody should they want to look for it is really remarkable. So thank you for you and your team on what you're doing every day.
Absolutely. Thank you to everyone in the township that helps also keep everything updated.
Yeah.
Just one thing, thanks to Mike and the entire police department for an amazing National Night Out. My family and thousands of others had a fantastic time.
Thank you. Meredith.
Just to note that we canceled zoning workshop number 3 that was scheduled for earlier today, and we still have another zoning workshop. We do not have another zoning workshop scheduled at this point. So that will be, more information will be provided in the future.
Right. I believe that we made the decision today to cancel the currently scheduled September workshop as we evaluate some options.
Okay, thank you.
Andrew.
That was one of my topics. As you can tell by this evening, the bond successfully closed on middle of January 24th.
July.
I'm sorry?
July.
July 24th. So the money is available, which I guess you can tell by the motions made this evening. And then I believe in June, the board granted 2 extensions of land developments to be recorded. One was Carriage East, that was on the agenda this evening. They worked through and got everything submitted today. The other one was Twin Ponds Mixed Use. They had their plans recorded, I believe.
They have not been recorded, but everything
they're
has
all
been
in.
submitted.
So those extensions, the timeframes work well for them to get everything in and moving forward.
Good. Right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Green Light Go projects are going very well. Tillman Street's been submitted. Hamilton Boulevard will be next, and we need to have some meetings with staff to discuss some of the equipment that's going to be proposed. And then, as I've discussed in the past, we've been doing a more feet on the ground BZAP assessment, and our staff will be providing like a 5-year capital plan next week to the township staff for review and consideration.
Thank you. Mr. Faust.
Do not have any.
Oh, that's stunning. Just stunning. Michelle, anything from the finance department?
This is Bob mentioned, we're starting our 2026 budget planning.
Okay. Sonic.
I think the one thing I do want to comment is I'm going to echo a little bit of what Cal mentioned. I got a lot of positive feedback about National Night Out and the work that was done in organizing it and pulling it together. Just seems like every year gets better. And again, I had folks that had never been to Grange Park were just amazed at the facility and what we offer. So I just wanted to thank the staff and the police for a great night.
Thank you to Officer Bill and Officer Julia. They do all the planning for it, and they do a phenomenal job. Can't thank them enough. It was a great event. We look forward to it every year. The thing that came out of it this year, both Officer Bill and Officer Julia are pushing to wear cowboy hats for duty right now. So.
Okay. Good. Ryan, I don't know if you were here, maybe you were or not, but are we still, and this might be also Scotty, are we looking to possibly eliminate the stop sign on Blue Bar now that the hotel's up? All that's there, the interim one between the freeway and the light.
Yes, we were waiting for the hotel to open and also school goes in operation for a little while to see how it operates the way it is.
Okay.
So we're looking for
I'm out in a couple months, so that's the first thing. Second thing is the bourbon BYOB or can Mike be designated driver? That's it. Is it BYOB?
There will be vendors there.
Oh, okay, good.
We could give you a ride just now. You might
No, I'm not looking to be caught, Mike. And we already have Ryan's profile, and you don't need my profile. So,
I'd just like to continue to thank our staff who, if you hear the number of things that we're doing on a daily basis here between a new fire station, a new police station, a zoning rewrite, these app implementation, we're continuing to have development at a really nice pace. In addition to just building a ho-hum center down the road, I continue to really enjoy sitting here and representing Bob, your staff, your team, Cal, Meredith, Ryan, Michelle, Scott. It's remarkable what you all do on a daily basis. It's a pleasure and a privilege to sit here representing Upper County Township every day. So thank you for what you do. I'd like to look directly in the camera and wish my daughter Lena a happy 22nd birthday today. I told her that I would. Happy birthday, kiddo. I got nothing else. So we go to courtesy of the floor. Anyone have any comments or concerns? Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, good to see you again. I come here, everybody knows me, Scott from Brownsville. Just to level set the team here. Oh, by the way, Chief Mike, great job tonight. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I know you're looking for comments today. I love the time, man.
Thank you.
Very pastel, to Easter light.
Show me your shoes.
You should see that, you should see your shoes.
We'll do that later.
Straight to sight.
So just to level set the people of the community or the audience, I've spoken in several meetings about the traffic on Shaw's Road, the speed, the density, the noise. And I'd like to, I have two topics tonight. First topic is I would like to start the conversation. This conversation will probably take several weeks, hopefully not several months. But I would like to, and it's probably been had before, but I've lived in my house for 28 years down the road here. I've never had the conversation. But I'd like to start the conversation with the board and the community. What would it take, two-part question, what would it take for the township to take ownership of Shaw's Road? What would that process be, number one? And what would the pros and cons be of doing so? I have no idea. I'm asking this question open-minded.
So it's converting it from a state road to a township road.
Exactly. The motivation for the question is this. I've lived in my house for 28 years. I've probably had hundreds, literally hundreds of conversations about the density, the speed, and the illegal exhaust systems that travel on the Shaw's Road, particularly between R100 and the roundabout of 22. If I had a nickel for every time somebody looked at me and said, the township can't do that, it's a $10 road, I would probably have a very large bucket full of nickels right now. Maybe even a small truckload of nickels, I don't know. So the question, it begs the question, what, should we take control of the road? And I don't even know if that makes sense. I don't know if it would cost anything, I don't know. Again, pros and cons and what would the process be? And I'm very helped, as always. By the way, I say this at every meeting, Chief Mike and Lieutenant Reader, they have been phenomenal team members with the community on this topic. Tremendous support, and we appreciate it. I can't say how much we appreciate that. Thank you. So, I don't know what the process would be for us to discuss this as a community or a board, or if there's some committee we need to form, or we just bring in PennDOT and start asking the questions, but that's the question I'm raising tonight.
I would defer to
Scott, is that even possible that we go to PennDOT and ask them a road like Shots with the Route 100 and Shots interchange there, and what that would mean? They would just say, okay?
There's a process, but you can start to put.
Because for me, that would be the concern for the township is that intersection is probably the biggest intersection in the township with respect to the cost of repairs, the what ifs, even so much as the liability to the township and accidents and things like that. So, yeah, and I don't want to speak for Ryan or anybody else, but when I think about us owning that road, that's the hard part for me to swallow, that the township would take on that responsibility of even just that intersection. That's just my.
Are you talking about the intersection of Johnson with 100?
Yeah.
Okay, did I hear you say, did you suggest going all that far out, or just?
I'm opening the floor. I mean, it does, okay, Jim, great point. Do we start here at this, where this sign says no trucks over 45 feet?
Well, I don't know what the rules are, if they put the piecemeal pieces out, or,
PennDOT does not go to a dead end road, so if you would do that, that would be a dead end road. PennDOT does, they always want a connection. So for you to stop it here, or county owns all 3 roads, that they don't allow. They have to have a through road, I guess you would say, and there is no through road now. That is one of the regulations.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, I don't think, and again, I know we did this in a public forum, but I don't know, if I stood here until we asked all the questions and answered all of them, it would be a very long night. I'm looking for a process we can go through to flesh all this out and report back to the community. We thought this through. It does make sense, and here's why, or it doesn't make sense, and here's why. I'm just looking at trying to eliminate somebody looking at me and saying, Scott, we can't do that because it's PennDOT road. I'm just tired of that response.
Can you be a little specific what
Sure,
you're saying?
Sure. There's a sign out here that says no trucks over 40 feet or 45 feet. The noise that we hear from the illegal exhaust systems on commercial vehicles, probably 80% of that comes from trucks that aren't that long or aren't that big. But I have no control over that because the sign is a PennDOT sign. I can't put a sign there that says no trucks on this road because we have no control over that. Number one. And there's a long list of reasons why.
Do we get carte blanche to put a sign up even if we own it?
I'm gonna say, I don't believe we can just put a sign up either.
If we own the road.
I don't know that I think it's still.
We can't control the traffic.
Something allowed by the motor code. But no, you can't just put signs up without justification.
Okay.
You couldn't just stop trucks from using Sean's Road without a good justification, especially with, the Adams Road interchange coming and, it's a connection point between Redmond and Allentown, basically.
I think the big thing, and I don't know, in the event of an accident where they have to reroute. I mean, when you get an accident on 22, all bets are off.
Right.
I mean, you're going to get constant truck traffic.
So the sign would say, unless there's an emergency, no trucks on this road. I mean, guys.
But here's the thing, Scott.
Yeah.
You're missing kind of what Ryan said. If the road has the physical ability to handle those trucks, if it's considered an access 2 and 2, even the township just can't say no trucks over.
I could bring in multiple psychologists to the standard for hours and talk about quality of life and impact of noise on quality of life in our township. And we wrote an ordinance that said we're concerned about quality of life in our township. And I welcome any of you to come sit on my front porch or stand on Dietrich Road. Anybody, anytime you want to. Probably a half a mile from Shaw's Road, you won't believe it. I mean, so, if you don't hear it, I appreciate the fact that you can't really know what it's like. But, quality of life is very high on the list for justification of taking control of the road and trying to control the environment. So.
I don't know that it's on PennDOT's list like that.
Yeah. Well, the community's not gonna take no for an answer without going through the process. I can say that. I got very strong,
I think the first thing is to find out, even if we own it, what does that allow us to do?
Sure.
Because I don't think we can just do what we want, number one. Number two, I would also like to know what the liability of that Route 100 intersection is, because I think it's a lot higher.
Yeah, good question.
And they are repairing this section of Shaw's constantly from all of the heavy truck traffic into Grange and Nestle Way. It's continuous. It's, what is it? At least once or twice a year, we're calling them about potholes or something in that stretch.
It's not just that intersection. You got the curves up here, you got the hills. You don't have the liability, I don't feel.
Can I make a suggestion? Rather than talking about all the negatives of step C, D, E, F, and G, either have Andrew and or Ryan put together, spend an hour or two trying to figure out if it's even feasible for the township to take over a state road.
And I would have to agree. And that's bottom line number one.
If
Take that
there's an application, what does it look like? If there's a process, what does it look like? So that at least we can tell Scott, we looked, here's the process, and then we can take the next step of, if we do the process, I think that's what you're asking us to do.
Absolutely, just what's the process,
Is at least go through the motions and make a determination. We can do it, but it doesn't make fiscal sense if we're gonna be putting $100 million liability on the township.
Sure.
Or we can't do it because there's no way possible to do it. And if we can provide you with that short answer, we can either take the next step and look, or we can say it's not gonna work.
Yeah, that's where baby steps.
Okay.
I know it's a long conversation.
So,
You know, the ideas that came up here in the last 5 minutes.
If we take it and then decide we don't want it,
you know,
if we do realize that, Scott's spending significant amount of energy through the whole thing. I mean, they just finished that, taking the curb out, that would have been all on us, that whole.
That's why
They spent a lot of money, that, I forget what that was, because they had to actually bridge some material.
So all I'm saying is, for Scott's question, we can spare an hour of time to take a look at what the first steps are.
Right.
And then we can come back to you and say, we took the first steps and, oh boy. And at least we're answering this question for you.
Yeah,
So you can either keep your bucket full of nickels or you can do it.
Baby steps, no, I'm not gonna, no, the bucket, the nickels are gonna slow down because I'm gonna be pretty, well, not me, but the 150 people I talked to in this area, are pretty persistent.
And you can tell them, I went, they looked, it doesn't make any sense, but we gotta look at something else.
Yeah, I mean, one other thing that stretch of road and intersection of 100, I can agree with Jim on that. It's rare, but it's kind of joking, but no.
It is rare.
It's rare, but we can find some agreement sometimes, right? But I mean, the other thing might be to look at a portion of it. I don't know. I mean, if it is they won't take the dead end or whatever. I don't know, but it might be worth looking to see if you get a portion of it. Because I also, understand the concern that he has about maintaining that road. It's going to, whatever improvements we did, they may only last 10 years or we'll be back at it again.
And down at the roundabout, who would own the Shaw's piece of the roundabout at that point? Would that be?
Yeah, it would be the township.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's another,
So we just have
another,
to-
they want to modify that roundabout. Now
They wanna modify the road?
yeah, if they would, or even the maintenance of that, our portion of that intersection would then fall on us.
Yeah, so I mean, the way I'm saying is, Scott.
And that's plowing too, right, Scott? Yeah, that's actually snow removal too.
At least we get the
I'm sorry.
for that.
No, it's okay, it's good discussion, that's what I'm looking for, this is what we are looking for, just discussion.
Yeah, and my only thought about that, Scott, instead of saying we can't do it, maybe flip it to what could we do? So to see if there's some feasibility of what we can do. That's the reason why I was going that route.
Exactly.
Okay.
And just to shoot out of the dark, Ryan, if we decided a couple hours work that maybe probably this isn't looking too good, then we're gonna start asking questions around how can we work with and not to get the changes we would like as a community made on the road. But ultimately, we'd like to answer the question, it doesn't make sense.
So I would make a suggestion. I know that you've expressed some of what you're asking for. I would actually get with your group and solidify that and work with our staff to maybe tune that to where stuff that's totally unreasonable is off that list so it doesn't look. And that will help even if you are then gonna go to PennDOT because you're gonna need that shook out. And this is not an easy, if it were easy, it would be fixed already. So having that focus is probably in everybody's best interest.
Yeah, I like that. Good.
So,
Fine, too.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do we leave it? So I contact Ryan, Ryan, do you wanna work, do you?
We can report back next month.
Yeah, we'll report back to the board.
Okay,
We'll hold them to it.
just first level, okay.
You come back and you can listen to it.
I think answering that first question is important before we start asking and deliberating any second, third, fourth, and fifth questions.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, second, I have another topic.
first question is, will this fit the program? You know, is it,
Can we do it?
can we do it?
Right.
Second question.
Second question, Jeff, in the last meeting, I was here last month, you brought up the topic of noise cameras. Somebody brought up the topic
That
of
seems
noise
to be
cameras.
Sunny's bailiwick, not really mine, but we.
Well,
we
I just wondered,
Yeah.
you know, did that effort continue? I'm looking at Chief Mike because I talked to Corey about this. I haven't heard anything for a few weeks, just wondering if,
Knowing where that was, I would not expect that to be anything that anybody could give you a monthly update. Those cameras are at their infancy being utilized in places like New York City. So I'm not even sure the legal aspects and everything have been shook out.
actually, there are 11 major cities across the United States.
Yeah, but I'm not sure that the verdict is out with that. That's basically, am I right or am I wrong with?
And I think it ties into the first question about state road versus township road and what we can and can't do.
See, yeah, another nickel.
Yeah.
Another nickel.
Fill in the bucket.
Yeah, another nickel. So, no updates from last month?
No, I don't think we have any new news on that one.
Okay. Well, thanks for your time. I look forward to, next month hearing about the investigation.
Thank you, sir. Courtesy of the floor, anyone else? Yes, sir.
Good evening, Jonathan Reck. Two comments, actually. First night was, I was involved with the fire police with the parking and traffic control. And much to our surprise, the new roundabout on Grange worked fabulous. We didn't even have to be out, we just stood there and watched the vehicles. But part of that was from the recommendation of Lieutenant Reed that the traffic coming out of the south end of Grange near Citronia be forced to go right. So we had very little northbound traffic to contend with. And that was a major asset in that sense. Like I said, we just stood on the side and watched everybody go out. That was great. The other thing I want to bring up is the, excuse me, the concrete railroad crossing at Morris Court and Ruffsville is really getting to be in deplorable conditions. The other day I was behind a tractor trailer there, and as he went over the crossing, 2 pieces of concrete shot out from underneath the truck. So I ask that you kind of put pressure on Norfolk Southern to look into this, because it now is starting to get really bad. That's all I have. Thank you.
We have, and it's on their list. That's,
Yeah, I know how their list works. I worked for over 30 years, so.
it was supposed to have been done, I believe, 2 years ago.
I bet if somebody damaged something and sued them, it would go on.
Oh, it would go really quick.
Probably exempt.
You're right, they probably are.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you for your time.
Before you sit down, I want to thank you personally for being the first person to come to this meeting and say something positive about the roundabout.
I don't like it, but it worked like a charm.
Hopefully we'll change that first sentence. I really like it and it worked like a charm. So we'll get-
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reck. Anyone else? Beautiful. Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn at 8:28 PM. Sunny, second?
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right, motion is made second. All those in favor of adjourn, say aye.
Aye.
We are done. Thank you.
I think they can.